Well, they're a very complete basketball team, and they've got some size to contend with. They've got good guard play. They've got experience. So defensively, they present some interesting challenges, but our guys have responded to challenges all year, and so hopefully we'll do the same thing on Saturday.
Do you feel like you can, kind of a two-part question, do you feel like you can take a lot away from that game when you played them back on December 29th? And if so, what are some of the most pertinent things that you can take away?
Honestly, I don't think that game is going to have any bearing whatsoever on Saturday. You know, you learn some things when you play somebody head-to-head, but teams evolve so much as the season goes on. We've evolved, they've evolved, and so I don't think that's going to have much of an impact. We've seen many of their games since then. And like I said, both teams have improved, and so should be an interesting matchup.
Did you get the feeling playing them that this could be a team that you would see in a state championship type game?
Yeah, there was no question. I mean, I think both of us knew that when we met in December, that was a distinct possibility, and here we are.
As far as your team goes, what are you guys doing well? Obviously, you fared well at regionals. You've punched the ticket to semi-state for the second time in school history. What are you doing well that's allowed you to have this success as a team on the court?
Well, we've got a lot of weapons offensively, but for us, really, the constants have been defense and rebounding. Defensively, we've improved drastically from the start of the year until now. That's been really big for us, and our rebounding all year has been really good. We're going to need to do the same thing Saturday.
A final question. Practice this week, what's the vibe been like? How are these guys responding? Obviously, this will be the biggest stage that they've played on yet.
You know, for us, it's just the next step, and so we're trying to maintain our routine as much as possible. This week, you know, gives you a couple wrenches in the plan that you maybe didn't anticipate, but we try to keep our routine as much as we can and keep the guys focused and dialed in, so hopefully we'll be ready.
Yeah, you know, we just, I think the main thing is we stay true to our kind of motto this season, which is to stay humble and hungry. And so, you know, we just take it one day at a time and just put the most we can into each day and try to get the most out of it.
When you take a look at Bar Reeve, you played them back on December 29th. What do you take away from that game? What were your impressions? And what do you think is going to be difficult as you face them on Saturday morning?
Yeah, you know, they're a great team. They got size, skill, some perimeter shooting. And so, you know, they can create some difficult matchups, so you got to be ready for that. And then, you know, it's a new game, so obviously there's stuff to take away from it, but you can't focus on the past. It's a new game, so we got to be ready for it.
When you played them back in December, did you think, okay, this could be a team that we'll see maybe in the state championship game? I mean, did you kind of feel that they could be a team that you play in the state championship?
You know, I don't know if we necessarily had that on our minds, but you know, you got to be ready that that's always a possibility.
Do you take a lot away from that game? I know Coach was saying it won't have any bearing on it, but you're at least familiar a little bit with their personnel.
Yeah, you know, it was a lot earlier in the season, so they could have all new, you know, new different play styles and stuff like that. So, like Coach said, you can't really focus too much on it. We got to be ready for this game.
Final question, what are you most looking forward to about Saturday's game? Obviously, you know, it's a state championship. You have an opportunity to do something the Blackhawk team has never done.
Yeah, you know, just to go out, you know, play our hardest, show what we can do, and just give the glory to God.
Going into semi-state and being able to go to state, we just played our game the whole season. We didn't change anything. We just did what we had to do on the defensive end, the offensive end, and I feel like that's why we're successful.
Yeah, what is the focus in practice this week as you get ready for, you know, the biggest stage in Indiana basketball?
It's just to not do too much, just stay to our role, play our game, and don't get out of comfort.
You guys played Bar Reeve back on December 29th. What do you remember from that game, and what are some of the things that you guys can take away from that game that will help you this time around against them?
I remember it was a dogfight, and I believe it's going to be a dogfight this time, so it's going to be a dogfight in the game on Saturday.
When you played them, did you get the feeling that this could be a team that you would play for a state championship, like you might meet down the road at some point?
We knew they were a great team on the other side of the bracket. I mean, we can't really predict the future on who we play. So, I mean, if they did have a possibility, we kind of knew that was going to be them.
You beat them in overtime by 8. Does that give you any more confidence heading into this game, knowing that, hey, you guys played them on a neutral floor and came out victorious?
It's just another game. We're just trying to not think about the past too much because we know it's a different game, new setting, bigger stage. So we just got to know we got to come out and play strong.
Blackhawks only been to the state championship game once before. That was 15 years ago. What would a state championship mean to this program, being the first in history?
I feel like it would be a big part of the history. I know the community is looking forward to it as much as the team is looking forward to it. So we're just going to try to go out there and play our hardest to get a state championship.
In my personal opinion, I think it's our love for each other. We always want to go out and play hard for each other. Coach prepares us for every game. And with him, just the love of our community and the love of our coaches, we always play our hardest.
What's the focus in practice this week as you get ready for the state championship game?
It's the same as any other week. We're just coming in. We know you got to be focused. It's another game, so you just got to come in and practice our hardest.
State championship week, always kind of a weird week. You practice down in Indianapolis. Your schedule's a little bit different. How do you guys put away the distraction and get focused on what you ultimately want to do, which is win a game on Saturday morning?
Yeah, coach is just like staying off social media is a big one where it's a distraction, and we're also just kind of not listening to all the noise, just trying to just be in our zone and be ready for the game.
As far as this team goes, you played Bar Reeve down at the North Davies tournament. December 29th was the championship game. You beat them in overtime. What, if anything, can you take away from that game, or do you remember about this game that can help?
We can take away that Bar Reeve is a super good team. We're going to have to play super hard to beat them. Their coach does a really nice job with them, and we're just going to have to come prepared.
What is it that presents challenges? Because you don't see a lot of teams with size in 1A necessarily, but it sounds like, and from the video, they've got some decent size, some decent post players, so a little bit more of a challenge than maybe you faced before.
It's just going to be, like you said, they're going to be bigger, they're going to be faster than a lot of the 1A teams we've played so far, so that's going to be a challenge, so we're just going to have to work hard like we always do.
How much are you looking forward to it? Because, you know, they don't lose a lot of games. You guys don't lose a lot of games. They lost to you in overtime. They're going to be super motivated on top of it being a state championship. You're going to get their best shot. I imagine you guys are ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a super fun game. You don't get it to go to Bankers Life every day to play, and that's just something that we're not taking for granted this week. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.